I'll do a Hulkster here for you before we bring in Zander. What are you going to do when Big Seals runs wild on you? What are you doing here on a Saturday? Got to be kidding me. What are you going to do when Seals Maniac goes wild on you? Without further ado, the co-host of Birds 365, my boy, Big Z, Zander Krause.
What's going on, Big Cells? How you feeling on a Saturday as we prep for this NFC title game?
Dude, we're a day out from this thing here, man, and history will be made either way.
Oh, no doubt
history
about it.
History will be made here, man.
No doubt about it. And I spoke last night with John on a practice recap, Sills, and I've taken my Friday score prediction and I've thrown it into the garbage, and I have modified the score prediction based on an on-the-air conversation with John, and then an off-the-record conversation I had about what's going on inside the Philadelphia Eagles locker room this week, okay? And I feel better now about the NFC title game than I have all week long. This will be a double-digit win for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay. I would, if they were... So you're suggesting then that Cam is going to be 100% heading into this game?
That's not exactly what I was referring to when I said that. It does look like Cam's going to go. Still got to watch with that, with the back. You know how backs get, man.
Completely. He can wake up tomorrow and be 95%. He can wake up tomorrow and be worse.
Yeah, I'll talk to you off the air. You know, I was asked to keep it off the record, so I don't want to go. I don't want to, throw John under the bus. But I'll say this. Every Eagle fan should feel 100% confident coming into this game. I don't give a shit if Cam Jurgens doesn't play. I don't give a shit if Tanner McKee is in after Jalen Hurts gets hurt. I don't give a shit who goes down. Every Eagle fan should be very confident going into this football game because still, what are we going to do? Make an excuse? It's the NFC title game. You got 60 fucking minutes. Go win a football game. I don't care who's out there. I don't care who's hurt. And that's the mentality right now in the locker room. And they're fired up. They're galvanized. And something happened in the city this week, Sills, that galvanized that locker room. And I heard a couple tidbits yesterday about what's going on in the locker room this week. And there's a reason that Jordan Mailata was talking like he was talking up at the podium this week. There's a reason that folks had the type of mentality they did in the locker room. And now that I've learned a little bit more, win by 3. Fuck that. We're not winning by 3. We could have another 2017 NFC title game here.
I'm going to tell you flat out why I think Mailata and those guys are talking like that, because if you heard Bobby Wagner last week talking about the Lions saying those fuckers don't have anything on us. Jared Goff is Kenny Pickett in my eyes. They're now matching their attitude, and that's why this game, in my opinion, is going to be a slugfest on Sunday, because Bobby Wagner has brought an attitude to that team where, get this, I don't give a shit what you just said. They don't care either. And you know what that's done to the Eagle players? It's totally jacked those guys up. Okay, Commander fans, Redskin fans are taking a shit on the Rocky statue. They're talking shit as much as they possibly can. Dude, I think the Commanders, man, I think they've played better football the last 2 weeks than the Eagles have. And I think that they've played against one team that beat the Eagles, and they beat the Bucs. They went up to the Lions and beat the number 1 seed. I think that I think that Commander team is prepared to play in this NFC Championship game. I'm not saying that the Eagles are not, but if you looked at the 2 teams that they played versus the 2 teams that the Eagles played, who do you think is more prepared to go into an NFC title game? That would be the Redskins heading into that game.
They're
beating
done.
The Bucs, beating the Bucs,
done.
And beating a 15-win team.
They're done. I'm telling you right now.
We
will talk tomorrow on postgame show, and the Commanders will be on their way to the couch in Cancun, sipping mojitos and margaritas. Okay? They are done. They're done.
28-26. Redskins tomorrow will be hoisting the George Halas Trophy representing the NFC champions, and an iconic run will continue in New Orleans, probably against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it
that
all
would be
plays
the
out.
road teams winning, which would be amazing if that.
Yeah, that would be wild. Listen,
if they actually.
I will say this: as confident as I do feel, I do think you should. The team should respect this opponent. I agree with everything you just said about they're playing good and they deserve respect. I think in football you got to kind of respect the game, right? I mean, these are all professionals, and what these guys have done has been impressive. But it's been a cute little story, everybody. And Jaden Daniels got his little flowers, and everybody's all excited that Washington's back, and woo, they can play football again, and they're not going to suck for the next 20 years. They are done tomorrow.
You know what I love?
I 100% promise you that they are done, and I will eat the crow if it's not true.
How about this? So in the last game, the Washington Commanders knocked the fucking quarterback out in Philly and beat you. I'm just curious. How do you take that game?
What, the last game we played versus the Commanders?
Well, guess what?
Yeah, I'm with you on
the
Frankie
reason.
Lou.
The reason that they lost is because Hurts wasn't out. Yeah, you know why? Because Luvu knocked your quarterback out. Then they took your heart away from you.
Well, that's not that. Look, the Eagles got to show up physically. And again, from what I've heard, the team is ready to show up physically and match Luvu. Okay. Now, I don't give a shit that this guy's dirty. I know everybody loves to talk about that. I don't care that he's dirty. All right. Like you said, it's a gladiator sport. You're either going to gear up and be a fucking gladiator, or you're going to get run the F over. Okay. Right. And this team better be ready to go and match that guy's physicality, because he is a game-changing type of player. Anytime, this is what I like about Frankie Luvu, just speaking objectively. Anytime he matches up with somebody on the football field, he has a mental edge of physicality and toughness of, I'm going to fuck you up and I don't care what you say or do about it. And that works in the game of football because, like you said, it's a gladiator sport. It's a physical natured sport. So he is good on that front. But again, he's reached the end. It's over for you, Frankie Luvu. Well, Jaden Daniels, enjoy the hype and the headlines and the hoopla and everybody praising you and the mom and everything that's going on around. Enjoy it all for the next 24 hours.
Oh, I love the mom. Mom goes, the only person that could stop him was a chick.
Yeah, and she ain't wrong. Let me tell you, she ain't wrong. Mom is smart.
I love smart. All right, man. Well, let me ask you this. Since you're so confident, who's leading you to this victory? Hurts, Barkley, or the defense?
I'm going to go all the above, okay? I don't think Jalen's going to have this crazy game. I don't think he needs to.
You sound like the fucking stupid mayor of Philly after she couldn't spell Eagles.
Oh, God, don't compare me to that lady. What a grave insult that was.
Oh, my God. Hey, go ahead, man. I'm kidding.
Look, Tony Allen, I got my money on Jahan Dotson. All right, Tony, I appreciate you being here. No, I feel good. I think defense. I honestly, to answer your question, I think it's defense. I think defense shows up in a big way tomorrow. I think Vic Fangio is going to give Jaden Daniels, who's obviously a young quarterback, some different looks in the playoffs. They're mostly healthy in that secondary. Remember, last time we played them, we did lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson, which I thought impacted. That last touchdown was basically a letdown by the safeties. And Reed Blankenship missed some time in that game. So if those guys are healthy and can stay healthy, I think that can do it.
What did John say about
Q's going to be good? Q's going to be good. So I'll give you the update on all four of the players. All right. I spoke with John. I spoke with John both Thursday and Friday. Okay.
Good.
I did take some notes on what Johnny Mack said. So I'll give you the rundown. Okay. Cam Jurgens on Thursday, John was a little concerned. All right. 2 straight days of missed practice, and he was nowhere to be seen, right? Like Dallas Goedert didn't practice on Thursday, but he was on the sideline.
He's getting treatment.
Exactly. Okay. So Cam returned for Friday. He was out on the practice field. He left early to go get more treatment, to go get more, they're loosening up that back. John said they didn't practice much on Friday. It was kind of a 45-minute light
Was
practice.
it a walkthrough?
Not a walkthrough, but it was not a heavy-duty practice. So
was it helmets and shells or helmets and
I'm not sure what it was, to be honest.
Okay.
But Cam Jurgens was out there. He said he was stretching the back out extra, but he does feel better about him going. Okay, so he does think he's going to go, but still something to watch out for. Dallas Goedert is a full go. He's going to be ready. Now, again, when I say full go, That doesn't necessarily mean a player's 100%,
no,
right?
Full go means to me at this time, the guy that's been struggling, he's probably at 85%.
Yeah, and and when I say full go, I simply mean they're going to play the game. How effective they are is a different conversation. Dallas Goedert will be on the field. Okay, he will play. He's good to go. And I think his is something that he'll be able to still play closer to 100%. He tweaked his ankle, nothing structural. Like, you know how ankles can be. You can run on that. You can. Jalen Hurts is good to go. Still kind of they're John thinks they're kind of hiding it from them at practice a little bit. He's wearing these baggy sweatpants. They're not trying to do much in front of the reporters. So maybe something to watch there.
Also hiding it from the Redskins.
But here's the one thing I don't like about this, all right? Because, again, I'm not the kind of guy that likes to hear bullshit. And John Clark, who I respect greatly from NBC Sports, put out yesterday a tweet, okay? And I'll read you the exact tweet. And it literally read like Bob Lang texted the exact tweet to John Clark and had him put it out. Okay. Again, I'm not trying to criticize John Clark. I actually love John Clark. I think he's one of the hardest working guys in media, and I love people that work hard.
And actually, the players like him.
They do, but he works hard. Johnny Clark is everywhere, man. He really is. He says, he tweets, "I'm told by Eagles teammates that Jalen Hurts has looked very mobile these last two practices and threw the ball at yesterday's practice better than he has in weeks." And I'm like,
what? ESP?
Yeah, what does that mean? Like, that doesn't mean anything. So I think Jalen is still something to watch in this game with the knee. That could be a big factor on what happens in the game. And then Quignon's going to be good to go. Again, another thing where how effective is he? But he's good to go. He tweaked the shoulder, and it's good. There's no structural damage there. He's all good. So he's going to be ready to go. Might have a sore shoulder. But
what about AJ?
Yeah, AJ is still in the same boat.
It's just a season wear down here with him.
No, that's where AJ's at right now. So the knee's tweaked up. He's you know how it is. You get to week 20, they're 16-3. They've played 19 football games. That's a lot of football games.
And he's been blocking more this year.
And he's a little banged up. So they obviously had the same approach with him this week to keep the rest high and hopefully nurse him up a little bit for the week for tomorrow.
Let me go back to a topic I asked you when everybody was kind of like, no. Now, all of a sudden, let's do this. Don't you think this style of play is taking its toll on the receiving core and then blocking downfield and being such a dominant factor in the run game? Because there's no question, Jalen Hurts also has taken its toll being a runner this year in the run game. So look at what you've got injured. The only person that's not injured is really Barkley, okay? I mean, everyone else has been injured. All the skilled guys from the tight end to both receivers to the quarterback have all been banged up. This is why I say this moving forward for the next couple of years. This is not sustainable, dude. When you keep getting all these guys banged up, you got a guy with 400 touches. 400 fucking touches. You know what that means? Everyone else around that guy has had to be involved in those touches.
Yeah.
This is the physical offense, man, and it's taking its toll on these guys.
Yeah, and I think that has more advantages than disadvantages being physical. We just talked about how this is a gladiator sport. I mean, that's what I love about our offense is they come at you and they run you right over and they're unapologetic about it. But to answer your question, I agree with what you're saying, and then I'll also say this. I think there's a human element that some people are missing here. I don't think it's going to be a problem this week or anything, but I think if you zoom out and look big picture, I was watching the game tape. Somebody was doing a breakdown on YouTube. I'm blanking on. Eagles Eric, his name is. He does a really good job. Philly Film Room. So big shout out to him if he's listening. And he's breaking down the tape, and you can kind of see, and this is a basic human psychology type of thing. The receivers are taking some plays off. Not plays off in that I'm questioning their effort, but when you go through the course of a 19-game season and you know that you're not getting the ball on 98% of the plays, it is human nature to not go out there and run your routes as smooth or run your routes as crisp. And there's a couple moments, especially if you look at last week's game, where AJ not coming out of the break, not coming out of his breaks hard. Even Devontae Smith, not moping, but you're not cutting the same. You're not creating the same separation. You're not doing the same things. And I think the human element of that with the receivers has to play in it. Look.
And that also is the lack of activity in the game because they're not going to those guys because they don't have the high volume of targets that they used to have. That also has played. Dude, what's happened is that receiving core, if to play like you said, because they're a non-factor. What did AJ say the other day about, 3 catches and 24 yards? You know what he said? Right now, it's all about winning. You know what he's done, Zander? He's taken your mentality and done this. Hey, man, I'll tell you what. We'll address all this shit, my not liking the way this offense is in the offseason. Right now, we're going to go try to win a Super Bowl. If I get 1 or 2 catches, what do I care? Because, again, at the end of the day, I'm still going to get my numbers. Maybe I get a shot at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Let me get that Super Bowl. I think these guys have all come to the conclusion we're not going to be a major part of any passing game these next 2 ball games, these next 8 quarters, and this is really all about winning. Whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it. I would do the same thing. I don't know if you saw this, but did you see that thing that Shaq said the other day when he was on a TNT? I know you don't watch NBA, but this is a mentality of today's player. Shaq goes like this. This guy, Jimmy Butler, has $50 million that he's making with the Heat. Then all of a sudden, he wants a contract extension. He's got 2 years remaining on it. You know what Shaq said? And this is why people don't watch the NBA, but I think this is why people, today's athlete, you look at him and you go, what are you doing, man? Shaq goes, well, if I didn't get my contract extension, I'm not going to play. And Charles Barkley looks over at him and goes, what do you mean? You got 2 years obligation of you playing for the Heat. Right. You're going to wind it down and not play. Shaq goes, if I didn't get my extension, I'm not going to play as hard. And I'm fucking like this. That's the problem with today's athletes right here. If A.J. Brown is not getting his targets, and Devontae, I'm shocked on Devontae that you're seeing that on film. I hadn't seen that. If these guys aren't getting theirs, it's like human nature for some of these younger athletes to do this.
I think it's a little different.
Well, fuck.
I don't want to compare him to NBA because I think what's happening in the NBA is a whole different ball game of.
No, but I'm talking about like saying if it ain't mine coming to me, it's not mine. I'm not going to play as hard.
Yeah, I think this is more. I don't think this is like that. I think this is more. These guys have egos, and they should. They know that they're some of the best receivers in the world. When you don't get the ball or your team doesn't recognize that and get you the ball, I think that weighs on you to a certain extent. And, Jalen's rolling out or whatever, he's running on a quarterback sneak. You're just not going to run as hard on the outside if you're away from the play. So I would just keep your eye on that. But overall, I think we're good right now, man. I think the team has 2 games left, and they all have the right mentality coming into the game. And they know.
I think they bought in.
I don't give a shit who gets hurt. I don't give a shit if Cam Jurgens plays or not. You got to go in there and win the game. You got 60 minutes to win a football game. I don't care. There is 0 excuses. I don't want to hear an excuse for Jalen's knee, for Cam Jurgens, for Dallas Goedert, for AJ. There is no excuses. AJ drops a pass in this game. I'm not saying, his knee hurts. No. You got 60 minutes, go win a football game, and you got 2 weeks rest till the biggest game of your career. Come on.
Absolutely.
Get it done.
Let's go, man. All right. I wrote down about 10 dudes that I think are going to be the keys in this ball game. I want to go over them with you here.
Let's do it.
Obviously, I'm going to start out with Jaden Daniels. He's going to be my number 1 guy on who the key guys are heading into this game, and here's why. He's a rookie. He's never experienced anything like this. Hey, look, I know he played in the Southeastern Conference. This is a little different, okay? And you're playing in an NFC title game where every single play matters, every single yard matters, every single missed throw matters, everything is magnified beyond anything you've ever seen in your life, and the reps will be quicker. What I mean by that is reps will be quicker because people are playing great. These are the 4 best teams in the NFL right now. You can't make mistakes. How is this young player going to handle an NFC title? I've seen Hurts in an NFC title. I've seen Hurts in a Super Bowl. I've seen him with his calm. That is the advantage for Jalen Hurts. Jaden Daniels, I don't know. I can't sit here and go, well, I believe he's going. Dude, that shit there, that hocus pocus shit, I'm not into that. I want to know what I know about you right now. It's up to you, Zander, to change the narrative tomorrow. Okay? If you change the narrative tomorrow, that's a whole different conversation. So to me, the experience obviously goes to Jalen Hurts. But Jaden Daniels, if he plays like he has the last 2 weeks, That's going to be one tough fucker to beat tomorrow night. But I don't know that yet. So that is my biggest watch. How is the rookie quarterback going to play against Vic Fangio at Lincoln Financial? Let me lay it out again here.
Yeah.
How is a rookie quarterback versus Vic Fangio going to play in an NFC championship game in Philly at the Link? That's quite a bit to eat.
It is. But to be honest with you, when it comes to the pressure, I don't think it's going to get to Jaden. I think this is more going to be the Eagles' defense is going to be the number one defense, the defense that they've been all year, and they're going to make it impossible on the kid. I don't think he's going to fold under pressure. I don't think he's that type of player. I really do. I think he's just got an iron mind, at least from what it seemed.
He had 5 touchdowns last time he played.
I know he did. And you know, I already told everybody all week, I'm not sleeping on Jaden Daniels. I don't care that I'm an Eagles fan. This kid's good. I like good football players. He's a talented player, and he should be respected and treated as such. I think what you're saying is fair, though. You know, coming into this game, how does it impact him? But again, I don't think it comes down to that. I don't think it comes down to turning into Sam Darnold and he can't complete a pass or let the ball go where he's seeing ghosts. I think the defense is going to wreak havoc. I think they're going to make it hard for him, and they're going to make him play bad, not because he's busting under pressure, but because our defense is so damn good, they don't have the talent to get past and beat our defense single-handedly by him. So I'm going to put that more on the Eagles' defense than the pressure, because I don't know, the kid hasn't busted under pressure in any moment in his career. Why should I expect this to be the first time? I know it's a big moment.
I thought they waxed him in game 1.
Yeah, but he didn't bust under pressure in that game.
No. I thought they threw a lot at him. And what I love about what he did was he responded in the second game, and he had 5 touchdowns. He was everywhere, man. He was such a great-looking player. By the way, if you had to pick the quarterback of the year in the NFC East, he wins it slam dunk. I mean, he's the slam dunk winner of that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we didn't ask Hurts to do a whole lot this year in terms of that. Obviously, at Saquon Barkley had that offensive line, and the offense looked different this year. And there's no doubt that they didn't ask Jalen to even really get close to what they asked Jaden to be. I mean, Jaden is. Don't you kind of agree that Jaden's kind of like a Josh Allen for them right now? I mean, he's the engine and the caboose on that offense. So, you know, it's definitely a different scenario.
We're not going to forget the supers. I promise, guys. We'll get to all your supers. Please keep rifling them. We appreciate that. We will always, Zander and I never let those supers go. So you guys keep rifling. We'll read them here at the end of the program here. I got Saquon Barkley number 2. And I got Barkley number 2 on 2 ends. The dynamic of Jalen Hurts' ability to run the ball and Cam Jurgens, his health issue, how is that going to affect the run game and how they approach the run game? And on the other hand, how are the Redskins going to defend him? Because he's been pretty electric against them 2 times. Dan Quinn's a heck of a coordinator. He's got a great resume. But again, I don't think you could stop him. But how much are you going to contain him? That is going to be the issue here for me. There's things that now make this a little bit closer of a game. And those are the things that I mentioned in the injuries. Fully healthy, I think the Eagles, like you say, I think they win handily. 28-10, something like that. They're in that room. But because of all these nicks and bangs up and the quarterback affecting the run game so much, are they going to run him in this ball game? How does that affect Barkley? He is going to be another centerpiece to keep an eye on both sides of the football for the Redskins and also for the Eagles on what type of ball game he has.
Give me the over on anything Saquon Barkley in this game. Give me the over on yards. Give me the over on touches. Give me the over on everything. I think this is potentially a 30-plus touch game for Saquon Barkley, and I'm looking at north of 150 in total yards. I think maybe even higher. I'm not even kidding. I think Saquon Barkley's going to run.
Because of the injury to Hurts, he's going to have more yards too.
Well, yeah, but you know, how do you view that with the injury to Hurts? You think that takes away? Obviously, Hurts is a positive in the +1 in the run game, right? Does Jalen being hurt change how the Commanders can play defense?
Yeah. Yes. For me, you say 30 touches, 25 carries. maybe 5 or 6 catches out of the backfield, something like that. I think he's going to have high volume in this ball game because also, let's not forget something. The Commanders, they're 29th in rush defense. So you've got to attack that weakness of that defense. Now, they've gotten better at stopping the run, but you still have to attack that. So to me, and here's the thing too with Barkley that I've noticed. And tell me if you've noticed it. 10 yards, 8 yards, 6 yards, 60. You keep giving this guy, keep giving him the volume because he's kind of like Derrick Henry a little bit too. Keep giving him 5, 10, 8, 9, 32-yard run. He's one of those kind of guys that eventually the law averages, he's going to break one off. So I'm going to keep giving him the football until he does because this year, every year I've seen I wonder how many plus 20 runs he's had this year.
He leads the league. I don't know what the number is. He leads the league, though. I know that. Leads the league by a wide margin.
He is an explosion player, so I'm going to keep giving him high volume.
I agree 100%. Look, that's kind of what Saquon Barkley's MO has been. You know, people say, oh, Zander says he's going to go for 150 plus. Well, hear me out. If I say he's got 30 carries, okay, let's give him 1 carry of 50 yards, which he's had in almost every. I mean, shit, which almost feels like
25.
It's a given. Right. Then you got 25 or 28 carries to get another 100 yards. He's going to get that. He's going to get that. And to your point, when you keep feeding him, it's like last week, you know, versus the Rams. Offense kept stagnant, kept stuttering, kept kind of keeping the Rams in that game. They had a couple 3-and-outs. They had a couple where they couldn't move the ball, a couple punts late in the game. And then, boom, that drive they came out, they hand one to Saquon, and boom, there's Jalen Hurts with his hands in the air because Saquon's on the run to the end zone. Got to keep feeding them, and eventually the dam will break, and he will break it open for a touchdown. So keep sticking with him, and I think the game plan here is I'm doubling down more on the game plan now than ever before.
Number 3, I got Jalen Hurts, and I got Jalen Hurts in here at number 3 because there's so many areas and sidebar conversations here with him. Okay, how much of the passing game are they going to throw when the Redskins are pretty good at pass defense? Now, again, that number's misleading. When you see the number and how they are in the pass defense, why are they so good at pass defense? Because everybody ran the fucking ball at them. Yeah, exactly. So nobody had to throw it at them. You know what I'm saying? But I do think 100%. The addition of Marshawn Lattimore has helped them a lot, especially since he's gotten healthier here. But his health is the key issue here, man. Does that now? Jalen Hurts took 45 sacks in 16 games, 12 in the last 2. And this was prior to him having a knee injury. So what is that going to look like heading into this game in the pocket if he can't move around in the pocket? You know, that escapability back there is going to be a problem back there for him if he holds on to the ball. I'm expecting high rhythm, which I mean quick rhythm passes, get that slant going. I mean, I don't know if they'll have a plus 35 in this ball game. He hasn't had a completion of a plus 30-yard pass in 7-8 ball games now. So I don't know how that's going to look. But, boy, I'll tell you, this is a game for Jalen Hurts to show everybody here that, hey, I want to be part of this win. I don't want to be – I want to be an impact player in the win here. I don't want to just be a part of it. I want to be a person that was the cause of us winning. Because I personally, outside of the running, he's kind of gone along. It's been the caboose conversation again. He's a bus rider. Barkley has been the bus driver.
Nobody knows how to take it, make a take, wrap it up into a ball, and create the most amount of possible pushback by just the way he says it. He can't just say Jalen's not the focal point of the offense. He's got to call him a fucking bus rider.
He's a bus rider.
That ain't the most silly thing you'll ever hear in your life.
He's a bus rider. He ain't no bus driver.
But listen, you're not wrong. Where there's 8 quarters left in the game, you're going to need to get something from your quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to contribute. He's got to do something. He's got to make a big play. And look, I have no doubt he'll do that. He did it last game. I mean, it was a 40-yard run, but he did it last game. He's going to do it again. He's got to find a way, though. And if he doesn't have the wheels, It's got to be in the passing game, or it's got to be something. It's got to be converting a fourth down or something. You need Hurts to make a play to keep them on the field. And I go back to the game we lost to the Commanders, and you look at that game, and I tip my cap to what Jaden Daniels did in that game a lot more than I think other fans are willing to do. He played damn good, man. 5 touchdowns against our defense. But when I rewatched the game this week, the main takeaway was after Jalen went out of that game, we couldn't stay on the field on offense. We had all those turnovers in that game. Remember, they had 5 turnovers, 2 picks from Daniels and 3 fumbles, 2 from Brian Robinson and 1 from De'Ami Brown. We couldn't capitalize on those turnovers like we've been able to do with Jalen Hurts, where we're able to move the ball.
Move the sacks.
Yes, pick up move the chains and stuff. And the sacks are definitely interesting, in this game. Because you look at the game last week, he took even more sacks after the knee injury. Now, some of it I do put on Kellen Moore. I mean, your 4-yard line, calling a 5-step drop into the end zone on a bum knee. Yeah, it's late in the game. You need 1 first down effectively to end the game against the Rams, and you bootleg them out on a bum knee. I'm like, Kellen Moore, what are you doing? So some of those drove me crazy, but it's certainly something to watch. And I think that was the interesting thing about those sacks was that really started to make sense what you've been saying about sacks all year. Right, when you saw that, you were saying these are game wreckers, and you guys don't see it yet. Even Marcus Hayes kind of pushed back on you. You could see it last week. There was multiple drives that ended and resulted in LA Ram points, the safety and the late sack on second down that pushed them to 3rd and 17, and they weren't able to convert. Those both converted to Rams touchdowns, and that's what made it a game late in that game. People forget that we had a chance to put that team on ice multiple times, and bad sacks stopped that from happening. So got to get that ball out quick. And I do think he's going to have a different approach this week because he probably knows he's not going to be as elusive in the run game. So is that clock sped up? You would hope so.
Well, I just found an interesting stat, too, to go along with your boy Hurts here. So,
oh, God.
Last time somebody threw the ball for 92 net yards in 2 games was 1970. Ken Anderson versus the Houston Oilers. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, no, they're not. It's
1970.
That's a credit to the great Howie Roseman. I'll give credits to Howie Roseman.
Oh, my God.
We got a great football team.
If that guy would do me one favor, don't leap. I mean, I thought he was electrocuted. He's not very athletic.
Wait, you want to hear what I modified my score prediction to?
Yeah, please.
So yesterday I had 26.
I bet it's 35-10.
No, it's not that. Although that wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if we had another 38-7 like we did in the NFC title game a couple years ago. All right. I modified it. So I had 26-23. All right. I had 26-23. I'm thinking it's a close game and we're going to win it late. Okay. We're going to win it late. That was my original prediction. And then yesterday happens. And I'm talking to John.
New Rockney speech got this guy jacked up.
The New Rockney speech got me a little bit. I'm talking to John. And he's giving me the update on the injuries, and everybody's set to go. And Johnny Clark's putting out that Jalen Hurts looks mobile and all these things. And then I spoke with John after our show off the record. And, he says, I've never seen this team like this. And you know what John said, John Sills, and John, you've listened to John enough to know he's objective and unbiased. He doesn't give a shit whether the Eagles win, lose, or draw. He's going to tell you what he thinks, whether you like it or do not like it.
Through his own kaleidoscope, yes.
Yes, everything's through your own kaleidoscope. Does the Big Sills not have a kaleidoscope?
I mean, holy shit. I have my own set of Howie Roseman binoculars, too.
Yes, you do. Okay, so he says to me on the show, I think Washington is in trouble. That was John McMullen's phrase on the show. And then I text him after. I'm like, yo, what's that about? Because he said it like I got to tell you off the air. And once he told it to me, I'm like, ooh, baby. Jaden Daniels, enjoy Cancun and margaritas, my friend, because you're going the fuck home. And now I got 28-16. The Philadelphia Eagles will win by double digits. 28-16. Let's go, Birds.
Never happened. They're too banged up. No way. You're not stopping Jaden Daniels.
I'll make a bet. I'll make an on-air bet right now with you. This team wins by double digits tomorrow.
Let me think about it.
Okay, yeah. You get
Because
back to me.
the whole thing. Wait a minute. You have you're at home. You have the better roster.
Yep.
You had the better season. Everything is in your favor.
I agree.
Wait a minute here. I'm the one going on a fucking limb here with the. I'm taking a. But you know what? Big Sil's got something wrong at the beginning of the year. I did.
I'll put my money where my mouth is. What do you want?
Wait a second. Because I said that the Commanders would win the NFC East. I was wrong because I meant they're going to win the fucking NFC. That's what I meant to say. I mean, excuse me.
Right.
That's what I meant to say. Hey, dude, I've never seen anything like this. I've just never seen anything where a team got better at every level. I mean, this has been a great. Did you see that Daniel Snyder fucking hates the fact that the Eagles or the Commanders are like having a great year? He lives in London now. He's such a pariah. He lives in London now with all those lineys.
So I didn't read the story. I was doing some work this morning at my desk, and right before we came on, I saw it on my Twitter feed. I'm like, oh, I got to read that story later. Well, it figures Snyder's pissed off that they're
Wickersham wrote it.
It is pretty wild how the success they're having in the first year without Daniel Snyder. It's pretty crazy. I mean,
they're in the conference title game.
Yeah, but everybody. I know it comes down to Snyder to some extent. I get it, but let's call a spade a spade. Why are the Commanders relevant this year? There's one reason.
Jaden Daniels.
It's Jaden Daniels. I mean, you get it right at quarterback in this league. It's the fastest way to turn around any team. All right, and they got it right at quarterback. I do like Dan Quinn. I will. He's grown on me a lot. I was listening to a segment that we did, me and you did way back in June. All right, I was listening to this last night. It was great.
Good for you to go back and listen to your shit. What you said. That's good. So
stuff. I was listening to this though, and I'll give us both credit. Both of us were somewhat skeptical about Dan Quinn as a head coach. We loved him as a coordinator. We were skeptical about him as a head coach. But both of us said in June, man, we really liked this Jaden Daniels kid. You've been saying it since the draft, so to your credit. But I wasn't on the air at that time, and we were both saying in June, boy, this kid could be good, and he's really turned out to be really good.
How about my bold prediction when we started the season? I said Jaden Daniels would be the offensive rookie of the year, and I also said that he'd be in the conversation for the MVP. He was one of because I after listening when we got Herm on the first time, and Herm told us, that's what sold me on it was Herm talking. It wasn't just me going like this. It was, man, Herm said this. He's Randall Cunningham. Remember when he said that? He goes, he's just a modern day Randall Cunningham. Yeah. I went, fuck, man. Yeah. That's some pretty good
idea. Yeah, somebody brought that up in the chat, though, that comment from Coach Edwards.
Yeah, he's really, every time we get him on, I'll tell you what, too, we'll see how this thing plays out tomorrow. Here's somebody else I wrote, number 4, key players in this ball game. I got A.J. Brown. Dude, if A.J. Brown comes out of this ball game with 5 catches for 30 yards, he's been banged up all year long, and that will be an absolute death nail. You can't have him not be a fact. Now, look, him being on the field as a coordinator, if I saw A.J. Brown line up and I see him there, I don't care if he has no catches and no targets. I have to defend that. I can't let that dude alone and can't have single coverage. So in the run game, as a decoy, whether he's hurt or not, he is a factor. But I think he's got to be a numbers factor in this ball game also if they're going to win this ball game. He just can't. He just can't go into this game 3 catches, 24 yards, taking plays off if the play's not coming play side to him. Because, again, I think Dan Quinn's going to have that defense. And Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, I hate to tell you guys, since you lost Dean, they got the better linebacking core. They are the better linebacking core than you. No question about it. Dude, Oren Burks and fucking Oren Burks is not Frankie Louvu.
We're the first team All-Pro in Zach Bond.
They got 2 second-team All-Pros. They're in the lineup there. You got Louvu and
I'll give you it. But I'm more going on.
What doesn't beat you?
It's a push.
It's not a push.
Yes, it is.
Oren Burks, really? Okay.
35-year-old Bobby Wagner ain't running with Zach Bond. I'll give you a
funny?
push.
We hear what he just said. He made all pro. All right, here we go.
Wait, no, I want to answer AJ Brown. I agree. I agree with everything you said. And somebody asked me yesterday when I was. By the way, I got a hilarious comment on the show yesterday because you kept dropping off. Somebody, I don't even want to say it. Somebody commented, I think it was Amber Baker Dalberman or whatever his name is. I appreciate him. He's a great listener. He always listens after the shows. He comments, Zander is now the Kenny Flickett of JAKIB Media after having to step in for Big Sills and carry the load.
Funny, man. Yeah, nightmare tech issues. I appreciate all of you guys in here today sending supers. We're going to read them here in a second.
Wait, did you hear what I said, or did I cut out?
Yeah, no, I got it. Okay.
I was cutting out. My bad. Yeah, Kenny Pickett, he called me.
Wait a minute. You're cutting out? Good. I don't want, hey, I'm done. Hey, let me knock on this here. You know who else I got here now? Number 5, I got Terry McLaurin. I got Terry McLaurin here, Zander, at number 5. I think Terry McLaurin's got to be a factor in this game because Q did a great job on him in that game 1. And he's been a force in the last 2 games. He's really played well, Terry McLaurin. You heard what Joe Theismann said this week about him as well. Said that this guy's one of the more elite guys that's in the NFL. Now he's got a real quarterback to play with now. He's not playing with other guys that don't really have the ability to be elite guys. This guy, Jaden Daniels, does. I think Terry McLaurin's got to be a factor if Washington's going to win.
You're 100% right, and he's been really good in this postseason, hasn't he? I mean, he's been
impact player,
big catches, and they're finding him, and he's, by the way, he's a really good leader. I don't know if you ever catch any of the inside videos.
I haven't heard him yet.
Yeah, they put out some videos of him as a leader in that locker room. He's a dope player, man. Terry McLaurin. I got a lot of respect for him, and I think he will be an impact, but I kind of like our corners right now in this matchup. I really do. I think you're going to be able to give help to Quinion or Slay over the top for Terry McLaurin. And I don't think De'Ami Brown and Olamide Zaccheaus are going to run wild on Cooper DeJean and whoever the other corner is. I really don't. I think it's going to be a hard time. I think Daniels is going to have to fit the ball in some tight windows, and he might need a little bit of magic. He might need a little bit of magic like you saw it late in the game last week with Stafford to Cup, or not Cup, to Nakua over the top. So I think they're going to need some magic, man. I think our corners are in good shape in this game.
I don't remember him at Ohio State. I mean, Terry McLaurin, I didn't even realize he went to Ohio State.
Yeah, I remember him there. He's good.
I know he's from Indianapolis, and I know he went to Cathedral High. That's one of the, kind of like St. Thomas Aquinas places where you have all these kids that go on to go play in the National Football League. It's a big-time program. It's like your St. Joe's Prep kind of deal. It's one of those programs, John Bosco, you know what I'm saying? Some of those high schools like that, Mater Dei. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that he played at Ohio State. So he must have played for Urban Meyer. They must have won it. I think he must have won a national championship there because he's been in the league a little bit here. I didn't realize that.
He's a really good player, man. I like Terry McLaurin a lot. He's a really good player.
Guys, hit the like button, please, for us here. Your super chats will be read. Every one of them, I promise you guys. I got Jalen Carter at number 6. I want to know how Washington's going to block him. I want to know how they're going to block this dude, man, because he's gotten so much better in his hands, his feet. And you know what he got too, man? He's got a little dog in him. Plays nasty. He's a
dog in him. Look at the big skills.
I like the kid since he was at Georgia. So, I mean, this guy, he's coming ready to play. I love he's in shape. I don't know, man. I want to see how Washington cannot go 7-step with that guy because I think that guy will bulldoze that entire middle of that offensive line if they just sit there and think they're going to go 7-step on him, because I think he can wreak havoc, and I think he can wreak havoc in the run game.
Yeah, and I think he's going to. He's unblockable versus starters. We had John Keim on from who's the ESPN reporter for the Commanders, excuse me, kind of like the Tim McManus of Washington, and he basically said Jalen Carter gave us a fit when Sam Cosmi was in there, and Sam Cosmi's been pretty good all year for us. Now we have a backup, a 7-year journeyman who's been on 4 teams in 7 years, who's traditionally a tackle. He hasn't played guard since 2021, with the exception of last game when he filled in for Cosmi. This guy is going to get tortured by Jalen Carter. Tortured.
That's funny. I got number 7.
Did you hear what Aaron Donald said?
I got Trent Scott there at number 7. Is that the kid who's taking over for him?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
7-year journeyman, 4 teams in 7 years, and he hasn't played guard since 21. He's done.
Doubt.
He's actually, excuse the foul line. He's fucked, is what he is. Did you hear what Aaron Donald said about Jalen Carter?
I did. I found my
That's pretty high praise right there. That's pretty high praise right there. That kid is a game wrecker. Now, here's the one thing I'll say. If you're Jaden Daniels, I'm assuming that they're obviously ready for this type of a game plan. You're going to have to ask him to be ultra mobile, because if Carter's creating so much pressure on the interior, one of your only hopes at that point is you either got to get the ball out in 2 seconds, or you got to escape the pocket and make Jalen Carter chase you, because he's not going to catch you. And that's going to be one of their game plans. That's why if I'm the Eagles, is it fair to say you might not even send the pass rush fully on every play? If I can clamp the edges and make a box where Jaden can't escape, and then let Jalen Carter go to work on the interior, I think you could force.
Where did Brady and all the great quarterbacks always struggle the most when pressure came?
Right up the middle.
In the middle.
Yep, right up the middle.
Worst pressure you can ever have for a quarterback is in the face.
Right, but that doesn't a guy like Daniels kind of mitigate that, because he's so elusive and can skate? It kind of reminds me of Hurts, right?
What you're saying, though, and how important it is on setting the edges, not making him stay in the box.
Exactly.
That's right. That means you really have to be disciplined when you play people like Hurts and people like Daniels, because their escapability of getting out in the perimeter, dude, those people kill you. A guy like Aaron Rodgers in his day, bro, when he was out in the perimeter and he was making that's why he would have 46 touchdowns and 3 picks. Right. He was so unguardable. And that's kind of what you get when you get a mobile guy and these mobile dudes like this. And I agree.
I tell you what, Nolan Smith's got a big game. He needs to have a big game, Nolan Smith. You just talked about it. Got to be disciplined on the outside. Got to be able to, set the edge over there in the run and the pass, I think, with Jaden Daniels. And remember, here's the other factor here, Sills. You don't have Nakobe Dean. That's right. If Jaden Daniels is able to get outside of that edge, he's got to beat Oren Burks most likely versus Nakobe Dean, who's been pretty good in space in tackling. Not great, but better. Now you have Oren Burks, who's an older player, not as good, obviously, as Nakobe Dean. That could be a factor there. That's why I think Nolan Smith really needs to have a big game here.
I'll tell you what, I love their relationship too, Carter and Daniels, LSU, Georgia thing. You could see those two guys when they're out there going back. You could see them smiling, this and that. How you negate that stuff is fan blocking, zone blocking, where you're kind of trying to confuse him. So there's ways of trying to help the guard and the center in there. But again, he's just dominated. If I had to look at the 2 tackles or 3 tackles this year that stuck out, he's one, obviously. The nose tackle up in New York with the Giants. Chris Jones, obviously. Cam Hayward. Those would be the tackles. Really, I don't think the kid in Tennessee had that great a year, Jeffrey Simmons. But, I mean, those are your guys that are in the middle of your defense that you're looking at now, where you're seeing, like, really superstar players at the defensive tackle position. And he's leading the way. There's no doubt about it. And what you're going to get is the changing of the guards coming up. Hayward's in his 14th year. You're looking at Chris Jones. He's up there now, 31, 32. So you're now getting the new guy rolling in there, and he's the next guy in there. Since we mentioned Trent, I'm going to do this. The Redskin linebackers, Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, it's going to be essential their play against Barkley and containing if Hurts runs and Goddard across the seam. That's going to be interesting to see, and I think they have the players to play with every one of those guys. I think the injury to Hurts is going to affect the run game a lot, and I think it's going to affect maybe even getting the ball at Goddard. Goddard's coming into this game 80%, we'll say. he comes into this game a little banged up as well. I think those linebackers are going to be the key for the defense, and Marshawn Lattimore are going to be the key for them and how they play the Eagle run game. I'm not concerned about the Eagle pass game. I'm concerned about the Eagle run game and the RPO game.
Yeah, because we
the
haven't
other
won
stuff, I'm just not concerned about the pass game.
Well, because we haven't won with the pass game. So to your point,
Correct.
we've been winning with the run game. So if that gets halted,
If they win with the pass game Sunday, they deserve it.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right about that. So that Jalen Hurts injury is easily the top concern. I mean, we talked about the big four players who are injured or who are banged up now coming into the game is Cam Jurgens, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts, and Quinyon Mitchell. Jalen Hurts is easily number 1 on that list. Cam Jurgens number 2. Dallas Goedert a distant number 3. I'm not as worried about him with the ankle, and I'm not worried about Quinyon either. I think Quinyon's going to be fine. So you're right about the run game, man. They got it. They got to get it going. Look, I said it all week. Jalen's got to make a play in this game. He's going to be forced to make a play, and it might look different than the plays he's made all year long because of the factors coming into the game, because of the injuries, because of some of those things. He's got to make a play. Make the play, and this team should win this game pretty easily.
Pretty easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you. I think it's a double-digit win. I do.
I got Zach Bonnet, number 9. I mean, if he continues his play. By the way, you want to hear a number that I heard for him from Dan Morgan?
15 mil?
15 million, 15 and a half. He ain't paying
I'm
that.
I'm signing him. They're not letting him go.
He ain't paying that.
I promise you they're not letting him go. They're not letting him go.
So you're going to sign that guy to a $60 million contract over 3 years?
They're going to get him signed. I don't know what the deal is going to look like. They're going to get it. I know it.
I bet you they give him a bag up front and they lower that thing to 13.5.
He's getting paid. I'm telling you right now, there's one thing I've learned about Howie Roseman, all right, from covering this team for the last 5 years and watching him from.
Why haven't they given it to him now?
Howie Roseman hates doing things that are clearly against the popular opinion. Not to say he won't do it sometimes, but Howie does have a complex where he loves to please the fans. And to his credit, most of them have been good moves. I'm not judging him saying he makes moves only to do that and satisfy that need. I'm saying if there's a player that is clearly really good and he's a fan favorite, he's not going to let him walk out the door. And by the way, the guy's changed the defense completely.
Do you think that he learned from that TJ Edwards nightmare where he let that guy?
I don't think this is TJ Edwards. This is not TJ Edwards. I think Zach Vaughn is
wait a minute.
better than TJ Edwards.
I didn't say that. I said that you let a guy with 160 tackles walk out the building and you tried to replace him with garbage cans, and it didn't work last year because you had a revolving door of garbage cans. Dude,
different scenario.
You're
right.
I made it to the Super Bowl and he had 159 tackles that year. It wasn't horseshit that year.
But are you going to try and
by the way, Bond's a one-year wonder right now.
Correct.
You don't know what he's going to do next year.
Correct. And that's going to be factored into the contract discussions. But
Correct.
nobody talked about TJ Edwards in 22 like we talk about Zach Vaughn this year. They were not the same level of player.
I'm not comparing that. I'm saying he learned a lesson by letting a quality player walk out the building. And now you got another quality player. You're not. I agree. I don't think they're going to try to do everything they can to let that happen again.
I think it's more about the player though than the lesson. Is my point. Like I think if you had another TJ Edwards, I think Howie would let him walk. I really do. But this player is so versatile and has been so much better in so many. TJ Edwards was a one-trick pony. He was a great tackler, physical. He was a liability in many other areas of the game. Okay,
man, I have a problem giving a guy $60 million who's had one season. He's been in the league 6 years.
Well, I'm not disputing that. I don't disagree with that. But again, that's going to be in the conversation for the contract, and obviously the agent knows that and how he's going to work with them. But what I'm saying to you is, Zach Vaughn's going to be back here. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. I don't know what they're going to pay him. I don't know what the deal is going to look like. I don't think you're wrong about some of the stuff you're saying. He is a one-year wonder. Even he knows that. Did you hear them ask him about, the defensive player of the year? I mean, they asked him about potentially getting defensive player of the year because he's a finalist for it.
Yeah, he's read some great honor.
Yeah. And he's basically like, that wasn't in like the realm of my thought process. That wasn't even in the realm of my goal setting. Not even close. You know, he laughed at the Pro Bowl incentive that they had in his contract. And by the way,
I think he'll finish third.
I'm gonna make you do one more thing. All right. I want you to look at this graphic, and then I want you to tell me what sticks out to you about this graphic. All right. These are the finalists for the Eagles for the awards. You got Saquon Barkley, finalist for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Zach Bond's a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. Quinyon Mitchell is a finalist for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Cooper DeJean as well, Defensive Rookie of the Year finalist. And Vic Fangio, Assistant Coach of the Year finalist. What sticks out?
2 free agents, 2 rookies, and how he's signing Vic to be the coordinator.
All brand new in the Eagles organization.
Yep. Remember what I said to you? The key, the 3 things, I said it to Angelo, the 3 moves that I think were the most essential moves in the Eagles' success this year were Bond from the edge to the middle. They didn't know what they had there. The acquisition of Saquon Barkley and the moving of what's his name? Becton to right guard, and the draft picks that they got with those 2 kids.
Yep.
Those were the 4 biggest moves that changed the entire football team from a year ago. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Would you call now, I'm just me. I don't know. I'll ask your opinion. I would call that a masterclass offseason. Those are all new people that have been brought into the Philadelphia Eagles since our collapse in 2023. All of them are finalists on the AP player, Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, Rookie of the Year, and Coach of the Year. I mean, that's pretty wild. That right there, I believe, is your story, is your difference from 23 to 2024 Eagles. Now, I know we missed on Bryce Huff. I don't give a shit, because when you have 5 moves like that pan out like they did, you can have a miss. No GM shoots 100 from the field.
No. But again, you mentioned the Huff. You also have to mention the mishandling of Hassan Reddick, because you don't have a premium edge rusher. And the whole thing with Bradbury, which is wild, on why he even was still involved with the football team. In light of that, like you said, that completely washes that shit away here because of the impact that those other players. Like I said, check this out. If you're Howie Roseman and you're Jeffrey Lurie and you're the money guys that look at this stuff when you're constructing a team, you do this. Man, we fucking whiffed like a crazy man on Bryce Huff. Yeah, but we're only paying Bond $1.5 million. You're going like this.
All right.
Oh, okay.
All right, it balances the scale.
Yeah. You know what? Wait a minute here. Bradbury's getting $8 million. You're paying Q $1.5 million on a rookie contract. Oh, okay. So you're kind of, you know what I'm saying? For the time being, it leveled itself out and balanced itself out. And you got stupid production for an $8 million guy. Are you kidding me? Saquon Barkley's an $8 million guy.
12, right? 12, right?
Oh, no way. He was like 8. No way.
No. Saquon Barkley contract.
No way. I think it was 8-9 he got.
3-year, 37.7. 3-year, 30. So 2025 cash is $11 million. He's making $12 million this year.
Okay, yeah, I was wrong. I thought it was 8. I thought it was 8 or 9.
Now, you know who was 8? Was Derrick Henry, which is
because he went for 1930. I know.
What a steal Derrick Henry was. Now we paid a little bit more for Saquon.
Yeah, that's cool. We got a little bit more from Saquon.
Yeah, right. Who'd you get more value out of? And this isn't a knock on AJ Brown.
Oh,
$32 million for AJ Brown or $12 million for that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Give me the $12 million. He's the most valuable player on the offense.
Not only that, but Barkley was even more valuable than that. Who would you say is more valuable to the Eagles? I mean, who do you think is more valuable to his team, Josh Allen or Barkley?
Ooh, I think they're really close, but I'm going to take Josh Allen simply because he's a quarterback and touches the ball every play.
That's the only reason.
But they're very close. I mean, look, I'll say this. Where they're comparable is this. I don't believe the Eagles are in the NFC title game without Saquon Barkley, and I don't believe the Bills are anywhere close to the AFC title game without Josh Allen. So both of them have that element where I believe they've lifted their team to a new level, and I don't think either of them are here without those 2 players. So it's comparable comparable type of impact here. You want to go super chats, but we're only going to go for
let's do the super. Hey, wait, Xander, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this Bet US read, and then we'll do the super chats here. Don't forget, guys, our good friends at Bet US during this football time, especially the conference championship games tomorrow. Going to be a great day for you to join our friends at Bet US. We implore you to check out the site. Make sure you head over there, and you got the YouTube 150. You see it here. Signing bonuses up to $2K. Second and third are 125%. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business. 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year. Live wagering on all major games. Make sure you check out the website at betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. We'll do the supers now that we have. And by the way, guys, please hit the like button. We appreciate everybody coming aboard here. We got a great crowd in here on a Saturday, and we really appreciate you guys stepping in with us here. So let's do the supers, Zander.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I want to thank everybody. I mean, isn't our community sales pretty incredible?
Bro, I got to tell you, man, what the fucking craziest thing on the planet. Hey, Sills, I hate your Eagle takes. You suck. I kind of like you because you remind me of my boys in Philly. He goes, but hey, man, I hope everything's all good. And I'm like, that's my kind of viewer, man. I love that shit, man. I do. I can't tell you.
Well, I'm happy that everybody reached out to you because.
Oh, they did. I must have got over 200 people DMing me, either on my Facebook or over on my X account. So thank you guys so much, man.
No doubt about it. That's really awesome. And I just want to thank, again, everybody for being here. You guys make this job such a great thing that we do. I love it so much. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys for showing up here and showing out every single day. Let's do some supers here. Leon Banks checks in. Thoughts on Dallas's new coach, Comment L.
Hey, congratulations, Eagle fans. You'll dominate the NFC East more. Brian Schottenheimer couldn't be more of a Jerry Jones hire than he was yesterday. What an absolutely brutal hire this is. Dude, you should have got Pete Carroll. You should have got a grown-up in the building. But you know what he wanted? He wanted another lapdog. He wanted another Pinocchio to sit on his lap so he could use the strings. It's an absolutely horrific hire. And what I must have missed it, Xander. Was that offense good last year or something? He was the OC last year. I must have missed it.
Opinion on this is great, Leon, but I'm going to show you better than my opinion, okay? Let's look at Brian Schottenheimer's career, okay? Here we go. Let's check this out for a little bit. All right, the words in red on the right side are breaking down where he was. 2001, quarterbacks coach, 28th ranked offense. San Diego for 3 years. The only 3 years of Drew Brees' career where he didn't look good. New York Jets for 5 years. Wasted some of the best NFL defenses with Mark Sanchez. St. Louis Rams offensive coordinator. 25, 21st, 21st in offense. Georgia offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. 85th in offense and got Mark Richt fired. Indianapolis Colts, 30th in offense in 2017. Lovely. Seahawks coordinator, 18-20. Didn't let Russ cook. LOL. Jacksonville Jaguars, 32nd in offense with Trevor Lawrence. Widespread dysfunction. This guy has an awful record in the NFL.
He was hired because of his last name.
I don't understand how Jerry.
Because of his last name.
I just don't like. I always say about Jerry, like, I respect him because I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I can respect like the way he's built his, his business and his brand and his team, and I respect that. I understand that we're Eagles and we hate the Cowboys, but I respect that about Jerry. What I don't understand is, Jerry, being a good football team would be better for business. Why are you penny pinching on a coach like this for a guy that has zero success? Zero.
You answered it though. Jerry wants to run the team.
Yeah, but the Eagles run the team with Nick.
No. Nick is actually a little, compared to the Cowboy coaches, Nick is Don Shula. Okay? I mean, the Cowboy coaches, dude, you know who they remind me of? They remind me of like a floor manager like at a McDonald's. No disrespect to anybody at McDonald's because that's a tough job. And by the way, those guys make $130,000 a year. In case you're keeping score on that when you're one of those guys. So I'm just saying you're like you run a restaurant there, but you're constantly replaceable. and you answer to like the owner who owns the franchises all over the area. This guy here has no pull, no say, no whatever. He is a follower. Mike McCarthy, you know why Mike McCarthy's getting job interviews? Because everyone knows that Mike McCarthy had to use Jerry's talent, had to use Jerry's offensive system, had to use Jerry's mindset on how they're going to approach a game. Do you not agree, Zander, that since the Emmitt Smith days, they're still using the same formula that they think it takes to win a game? A quarterback, running back, and a wide receiver, and they're going to try to duplicate that. Well, dude, you had a one of. You had Emmitt. You had Troy. You had Irvin. You're never going to duplicate. And you had Jimmy. You're never going to duplicate that. The ghost of Jimmy Johnson haunts him. And dude, I said it. And I'm not going to go knee deep. It's a Saturday. So in case people are going to church today, so I'm going to be kind of nice today. Unless that guy's not in the building or he sells the team, they're never going to win another Super Bowl.
No, they're not. They're not going to come close. They're brutal.
It's over.
And as you mentioned, it's great for the Philadelphia Eagles. So if any of our resident Cowboys fans in the chat, baby, you guys are down bad. You guys are down bad.
Yeah, the Redskins are the people you got to keep an eye on.
Yeah, right. I think it's going to be Eagles-Redskins for the foreseeable future here. Schmidt-Diggler checks in. I am worried about this game. Cam Jurgens may not play, and that connection between QB and center is vital. Also, when Hurts was out, we couldn't run versus Washington. If he doesn't present that threat, scary.
You know, I thought about what Zander said to me about center exchange and being under center. I'll tell you where, Schmidt, you're right. High snaps. Because if he can't get his back down and he can't stay low, look out for high snaps and snaps over the head of Jalen and shotgun.
You mean just because Landon hasn't done it in a while?
What's that?
Just because Landon hasn't done it in a while.
That's
right. He was a really good center in college. Like really
but
good.
Even with Cam's back, keep an eye on that for high snaps.
Schmidt, it ain't time to be fucking scared, Schmidt. It ain't time to be scared, Schmidt.
I like that name, Schittenheimer.
Schittenheimer's hilarious. Did someone put that in the chat? I see it. PI, good stuff, brother. Schmidt, thank you for the $10, man. Appreciate you.
Right.
Jeff Bone, the Bonehead, my guy, the Jerome Brown jersey winner who stiffed Big Sills. I sent Big Sills the pic of you wearing it. Wait,
Dotson.
Did I ever show the Bonehead picture on the show?
Yes, I posted it.
Yeah, you posted it, but I never showed it on here. I might have to pull that up. Brother. I'll pull it up in a second. Jeff Bone says, Jahan Dotson, seen the Commies playbook. He can give us an advantage. You're not getting shit from Jahan Dotson.
What about Brian Johnson in the playbook? Oh, that's right. It's a new offense. Somehow it looks the same as last year.
Yeah, Jeff Bone, you didn't just try and tell me that Jahan Dotson is going to be some sort of a major advantage for the Philadelphia Eagles, did you, brother? I mean, come on. Hasn't that ship sailed a little bit? All right, on this.
Hey, wait a minute, Jeff Bone's got Jahan Dotson. He's got Zander. He's got Jahan Dotson as like a Russian spy. Fake news. Perfect call.
Look at Bonehead in the Jerome Brown jersey.
That's really good there, man. Really great.
I love it. Good stuff, Bonehead. Appreciate you, brother. Let's keep rolling here on Super Chats. Ish checks in. What's up, Ish? Appreciate you, my man. He says, my man Zander and my main man, Big Hurricane Money Man. I am hiding stills. How you doing?
How you doing, Ish? Appreciate you coming aboard. Thank you very much, man. That means
Thank you, man. PI says, Thrill Sills, Z, you should do this every Saturday. PI, I don't got enough cash to afford Cilio for another day of the week.
By the way, we are doing this next Saturday too.
Yeah, but we'll Super Bowl run.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see.
Hollywood Hogan checks in. What's up, Hollywood? Home field goes through San Francisco next year. No way. Easiest schedule, and Salah is back in 10 high draft picks. Sills, you have too much internet connection drama, bro, by the way. Yeah, you're telling us. Thank you.
Yeah, believe me, it was a nightmare yesterday. My wife goes, yeah, I heard more F-bombs than usual yesterday. I was like, oh, my God. I just got my power back, and all of a sudden I'm looking over at my modem. I'm like, what next? And I was like, holy shit. Thank you very much, Hollywood Hogan.
Hollywood, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Josh B says, fly, Eagles, fly. ELGSES, Eagles. That's great. That is great.
God, man. By the way, I posted that video on my private YouTube, man. I think got 10,000 views.
Dude, And how about WIP now carrying her water, letting her go on and correct the narrative? I'm like, it's fucking spelling the word Eagles. Of course, WIP puts her on.
No doubt, because you know why? She reached out and Bob goes, I think it'd be really great for you to come on. I mean,
that's exactly what happened.
Shit.
Tony Allen says, I got my money on Jahan Dotson. He's balling out.
Go get it, Tony.
He needs you to do a Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson.
He wanted one yesterday. Tony, thank you, brother. Macalia, what's up, my man? Eagles keep finding ways to win no matter what. Agreed.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
When your quarterback throws for 62 yards in a game and they still win, it's amazing.
Illuminati says, spy Nolan, Vaughn on Ertz, double wide receivers, and keep 5 in the pocket. Easier said than done, but I do like that game plan, Illuminati.
Did you say keep Biden in the pocket?
Keep 5. Keep 5, motherfucker. Keep 5. All right, here we go. Washington is in trouble. Gabe says.
That's what Zander's saying. Zander heard
whoa. That's not what Zander said.
Oh, you heard the new Rockney speech. So I mean, you're all jacked
John
up
McMullen,
now.
who does not glaze any team. He's completely unbiased and pragmatic and objective. His quote, I think Washington is in trouble.
Okay.
Let's go, Gabe. Here we go. I think we got another one here. Cheese checks in. What's up, brother? Sills, who's a better football player, Bryce Huff or Mozzie Smith? Who's more useless? I don't know. That's a battle of freaking.
Who's useless is Mozzie. Huff is Lawrence Taylor compared to Mozzie Smith.
I wouldn't call him that. All right. I don't want to ever hear Bryce Huff's name mentioned with that again. But yeah, Bryce Huff's brutal.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all of them. That's all of them.
Good stuff, man. Really great, man. Holy shit, this thing flew too. All good. So you're feeling more comfortable.
Double-digit win. Bird's going to clap this team. Defense going to be lights out tomorrow. Jalen Hurts has to be good. All right. That's the one thing I'm watching coming into this game is how's that knee look? If the knee doesn't look good, your game plan's a lot different. But I feel really good about the game. I feel really good about the team. I'm telling every fan listening right now, you should feel confident. I don't give a shit who's out. I don't give a shit if we got to play Kenny Stinkit. Okay? I don't care. We win this game. We got 60 minutes to go to the Super Bowl. Win the damn game.
Jaden Daniels, 250 yards passing, 65 rushing. Jalen Hurts, 135 passing, 45 rushing. How you doing?
And a loss. And a fucking loss. Down like the rest of the quarterbacks with big stats.
And then, Al, we got one more super in here, dog.
Let's do it. Where's it at? Park, what's up, Park? Jalen, 75 yards passing, Super Bowl winner. That's a big Sills comment right there.
Hey, Park, that's like a Bob Greasy from 74 kind of thing. Xander, this was great, man.
Yeah, man. Good job. By the way, let me just say this one thing before we go. Everybody, please hit that like button for us, all right? Big Sills, he loves you guys, and I'm going to thank him on the air live right now for doing this today because, to everybody else, it just looks like internet issues. But it really does. You can tell that Sills wants to be live and wants to be here for the people and for the show. And this was Sills saying, I want to do this. I want to do this on Saturday to make up for the missed time. So drop a like for Big Sills and hit him with a thank you because they're dealing with a lot of shit out there in California. Obviously, he wants to put his family first, protect everything that's going on in his area. And we thank Big Sills from JAKIB. And I think on behalf of all of JAKIB Nation, we can thank Big Sills as well.
Absolutely. And guys, I promise you this, as soon as I can, I'm moving to the East Coast. You're going to see me more I would make this proclamation to you. Probably in the next 7-8 months, you'll see me more up in the Philly area too, because I'm moving back east. I'm getting the fuck out of this thing.
I love it. And wait, let's put some pressure on Big Sills. All right, I just thanked him. Now let me put some pressure on him. He doesn't have an excuse. We have a place in Naples that we've already said.
Oh, man offered it to me.
You are welcome to move in there tomorrow. I don't need to go through an approval, a lease sign. No, Sills, you can go there and find another place to live.
They've already offered
stay there as long as you want. Big Sills needs to get the fuck out of California. All right? Put the pressure on him, everybody.
Absolutely. Let's get this last super here, Xander.
Did you guys see the Brian
I
Dawkins
did.
hype video? I can't wait
did.
for the game. Yeah, man.
You got to look at that thing. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Dude, Brian Dawkins, man. That dude's a heater, man. I'd love to have that guy on my team. All right, Zander, let's get the likes in here, and I'll tell you guys, we'll see you tomorrow for the pre. Also, Zander will have you for the halftime and the post and the post NFC Championship game tomorrow. I know everyone's feeling it. I can't wait. Zander, great stuff, brother.
Great show, man. Thank you for doing it again, Big Sills. Thanks, everybody in JAKIB Nation. Look at them showing up on a Saturday, man. Almost 500 people on YouTube and 750 total watching right now. That is major love. Thank you all, man. I love you all. You guys are the freaking best in the world.
We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
See you next time, everybody.